Hello, and welcome back. We are back with Local Vibes. I'm always so happy to be here. It's summer. I'm feeling fantastic. I hope you guys are as well. Our guest tonight is Ricki Monique. You may know Ricki from her Good Seeds EP that dropped back in May, or from being the co-organizer of Tangible Collective, or any other creative project she's been a part of. I'm super happy to kick this off. This is Local Vibes presented by the Vanguard.
Let these niggas be your date, Gonna get your house and then I'm gonna ride the wave, nah. She just ride the beat, gold up on her waist, pull up on her feet, anti what you think, they in Louis V, she in vintage G, she in local drip, she sustainably dripped up, pull up with the shirt tucked, tell them get they act right, make these trip up, ask them how they steppin', tell them keep they lips shut. Ask them how they steppin', now they, yeah. Look, fell in love with a poet girl from all sides. Talk like she the ending, always stand out like a punchline. Really, she the free kind. Warm you like she springtime. Love you in the meantime. Have you cool out in her arms, make you recline. Never on the decline. She made a purpose, got her full of sunshine. So to match the surface, she been working on her insides. Chipping at the plan, I watch her come up like she deadline. Tick, tick, she been known to be the asset. Ask them what, told them what role they gonna play. Dropped a humble off for boss traits. Her face, she chose to stay a face along the way she play. Remind they honored by her presence. They honored by her presence. They wanna fluff her feathers. She falling from the heavens. Gifted to the streets, angel steeds, rhymes clever. Gifted her some peace when she saw her wins destined. Honey known to call it like she see it. People be expecting her tough. She knows she ain't gotta be it. Coming up wasn't that rough. Coming up she was real soft. Family scared to let her out the house. Shit her to a fault, now fighting with dough. Still building up a call, then working to evolve, that's double time. Clock them late, that's overtime. Pump them brakes, she gotta ride. On the move, on the run, slowed it down. She and her, they honest. W's been so chronic. Flourishing melodically and spiritually. And on the topic, taking off. Yeah. She taking off, yeah, on the fucking topic, taking off. Minneapolis, we taking off, period. Now follow your potential, growth has been essential. See it, then it's yours. Work, make it official. Catch up to you. You gotta catch up to you. Yeah, this shit felt like 20 when we couldn't get no ID. Bowl in the dorm room, now they wanna find me. Weed in the joint roll, hit it kinda lightly. I just wanna feel some, I'm just tryna feel. This shit feel like jogging since we rocked in the 90s. Daddy with the J's on, mama in the Nikes. Putting in my ponytails, wrapped real tightly. I just wanna feel some, I'm just tryna feel. All my friends have bled, let me back again. Dark out all my thoughts, or I self-deprecate instead. Wrapped up all my rocks and now I wear them around my neck. Put myself in spots, I pray I'm never back again. I swear I'm softer when I'm stoned in a lone hit. Better look popping by the messages, they all been delivered. Had to sober up my pen, cause the song's not hidden. Really writing just to throw it all away, not driven. Niggas wanna rev they engines, this is not a fucking race. My pace, no tension. They biting off the crab just to make a few million. I exist as a creative, what I make, I feel it.
Searching,
really feel it.
For your best life.
Yeah, you're beautiful, ruin on the
Always
hood.
wondered how the birds can fly so high. You were falling into the moment.
Into the moment, yeah.
How will they remember me after I die?
He only want me when I'm finished and polished. Shit on my eyelids, contour on my cheekbones, and fabrics you call stylish. Hi kid, never say it back, why you so silent? I am not your Barbie doll, I talk outside the private. This shit is personal, this shit ain't workable. Most shit ain't personal, wrote this verse on some versatile virtual vibes. These niggas post they wanna pop till it's actually time to put the work in, internal searching, sit with the verbiage. To dream gon' take some courage, pack light minimal storage. To see gon' be euphoric. I'm talking to myself, some shit I'm learning is important. Writing notes of future me, guess you could call this work historic.
Searching,
really historic.
For your best life. Always wondered how the birds can fly so high.
I always wonder how they fly so high.
You were falling into the moment.
Into the moment, yeah.
How will they remember me after I die?
This shit feel like 20 when we couldn't get no ID. Bowl in the dorm room, now they wanna find me. Weed in the joint road, hit it kinda lightly. I just wanna feel something, I'm just tryna feel. This shit feel like jogging suits we rocked in the 90s. Daddy with the J's on, mama in the Nikes. Putting in my ponytails, wrap real tightly. I just wanna feel something, I'm just tryna feel. Kevin King on the saxophone. The data waves, yeah. I'm just tryna feel. I'm just tryna, yeah.
That was Ricki Monique, everybody. You just heard Ruby and Immortal. Those are two songs coming off of her Good Seeds EP. I'm so excited to talk about that. It's been a while since I last talked to Ricki. It was Instagram Live over a year ago, so I'm super excited to do this. Ricki, please come to the stage. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's awesome. The awkward sit down as I was just talking about. And yeah, super excited to kick this off. And it's kind of been a tradition to start this off with gifts. So that's how we're going to do this. So I'll reach down under my chair and we'll start with this one.
Okay.
And so this is Voodoo
Period.
by D'Angelo.
This is a great project.
Mm-hmm. And this was something you kind of grew up on, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. My mom and my dad absolutely love D'Angelo.
Yeah.
But also, for a CD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, but also this man fine as hell. And he has changed music like in a big way. And I think I like fell in love with this project as an adult. So
what's interesting about that is what's cool is when you talk about like the instrumentation on that, and you've kind of been implementing instruments into your own work, and to be able to do that live, I know that was a dream of yours, and it's really cool that's been able to happen. How's that been?
Yeah, that's
using
been
live instruments.
That's been wild, honestly. Like, I would say it's like definitely something that at the time when it was coming to me, I didn't really think I would ever get that, or like it would be so long. But because of me working with Your Beautiful Ruin, like he has such a good connection to the musicians that he works with, to the point where like he would send the music we made and they'd be like, oh, let me hop on this. Yeah. And then when it's like, oh, I have shows, they're like, we want to come, like we want to be a part of it. So I think like it's just been cool to know that not only is it that I want people to be a part of it, but like they actually want to show up themselves, you know? It just makes me want to go harder and like try new shit, you know?
Yep. And I knew he was going to come up at some point, and that's Your Beautiful Ruin. And then the band you're referring to would be the Data Waves, right?
Yes.
Yep. And what's it been like? Because it seems like there was an instant connection with the two of you. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
So I would say, I just noticed I got makeup on your shirt. My bad.
That's okay.
The Data Waves, or not the Database, but Your Beautiful Ruin, we met in 2020, like right before the pandemic hit. And I was doing shows a lot at that time. I was like, I want to learn how to perform better, So I was doing a bunch of shows. And he was at one of my last shows before like everything locked down and closed down and stuff. And he was just kind of like, you know, I've been working with a lot of musicians like in Chicago, and like I haven't really necessarily found people I want to lock in with in Minneapolis. I was like, I really like your sound. I think we would vibe. And I'm like, you know, when you're doing shows, like people do that all the time. You're just like, okay, whatever, dude. Yeah. And so we exchanged Instagrams, and he like probably like the next day sent me his project that he had, his album that he dropped called The Idle Mind, which also has the data waves on it. And I listened to it and I was like, who is this like angel that just like fucking walked up to me yesterday and I didn't even know, you know? So from there, probably like, cause it was like heavy COVID. So we waited until September, and that was probably like February when we met. And then from there, like the first day that we ever like met in person for a session, we made FTG, or For the Girls.
Yeah, that's incredible, because you said you've never had a connection like that where you like met a producer, worked with him, and it was just that instant. That's so cool. That's so cool. Okay, and before we get too far into anything, I do have one more gift I want to put on the table here. And this is coming from like your Trap Right Run the Six interview. I just know you talked about Insecure being like one of the best scores, soundtracks of all time. So I think this is coming from season 2.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think there's like Gold Link SZA on there.
Yes.
There's some fun ones on there, but I wanted to throw that into the mix because it's a great show, and then also it does have great music.
This is huge. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Y'all so sweet. Yeah, this is lit. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so now that the gifts are kind of out of the way, we heard Ruby, we heard Immortal, and I feel like Immortal is like a really good place to start with your music and just how that came to be, because it seemed like you wanted to tour, but in order to tour, you had to make music. In order to like have people stick to the music, you needed a music video, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of your thought process, right? Or run me through that.
Yeah, so exactly that. I had like early 2020, I was like, what am I doing? Like, or like right when lockdown happened, I was just kind of like, what am I doing? Where am I going? And like you said, I knew I wanted to do touring. I knew that I wanted to like make good music that people would like. And I'm like, in order for me to tour, I'd have to have some sort of piece of content that would make people attract to me. And I'm really into storytelling. And so I just was like, film, like, let's do a music video. And so I knew the people who, like, the director I knew I wanted to work with was Charles Fatumbi, but I just didn't know how to go about it. We'd worked together before, and the time that we worked together I was assisting someone in a project they were creating. And so I'm like, how do I reach out to this person or whatever? And I ended up being in a shoot where he was shooting me, him and Justin Blake. And Justin he DP'd on the music video. And Justin was like, yo, your music is great. Like, put us on your new stuff while we're shooting today. So I played them Ruby, I played them Immortal, I played them For the Girls, all the songs off of the project. And they were like, yo, this is good. But Charles hadn't really listened to my music. And so Justin just kept like, bro, you know, and he was like, anything you need, we'll do it. And Charles looked at him like, bro, because he was done with music videos.
Right. And I totally caught that on your guys' Instagram live too. And what's really funny, and I want to hear about that, is you didn't necessarily want Immortal to be the music video.
No.
Is that right? And why is that? And how'd that come to be?
I wanted For the Girls, FTG, to be the music video. It was going to be a 2-part. It was going to be Immortal and For the Girls. But I wanted For the Girls to be the single. And Charles loved Immortal. Like, he just loved the sound. He said it made him feel good and this, that, and the third. And so when it came to the concepting of the actual music video, like, we collaborated, but at the end it was more of like, he wrote it exactly down, you know what I mean? So he knew what he saw and what he wanted. But once we got the actual footage, For the Girls didn't have enough footage to actually be a full music video. Like, it would have bored people to death.
Yeah.
And it was going to be the first part, and then it was going to transition into Immortal.
Okay.
And so it was like, if we would bore people before they even got to Immortal. So it took me a lot to be like, damn, so Immortal's going to be the full music video.
Yeah.
And I just felt like bar-wise, like actual lyrics and flow, that Immortal was not on the same level as For the Girls.
Okay.
But when we released it, people loved Immortal.
Right.
But I think also them hearing that snippet of For the Girls got them excited for the other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And there was so much excitement when that came out, and I think there's so many different reasons why. And you talk about Charles Fatunbi really wanting to just express joy in the music video, but specifically black joy.
Yeah.
And then also just everything down from B. Croc being in the music video to
Yeah.
Vintage Garden being a part of the beauty design. How much of a conscious choice was that to include like Minneapolis in its
Yeah.
purest sense, your ecosystem?
Yeah, I think I really did not, like, this was something from the very beginning. I was like, we're not, like, this is not sad. Like, we're not crying. We're not
Yeah.
talking about anything that's happened that has made us, like, lower our vibrations in any way. And I really wanted us to see, like, the black beauty here. And Charles was, like, same. He was like, I'm not, like, we're on the same wavelength in that space.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like, there's just, through doing tangible and just being a part of, like, being in community so much, there's so many people who I know are extremely talented and are just, like, everyday people that you could walk past in the store here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was just important to just include as many people as I could that were doing good shit and that were amazing people.
Yeah.
And so it was cool that on the casting end of things, like, they kind of let me, like, pick my people,
Yeah,
and they
sure you
reached
had an
out to
idea.
them. Yeah, so that was fun. We really wanted people who could skate, people who, like, would be, like, excited to be on camera, people who would come dressed well,
Yep.
and then also people who are artists themselves.
Yeah.
And so that was cool to do, and B-Dot ended up being, I didn't think that she would be able, like, I didn't think
Okay.
she'd be available.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm gonna just see.
Yeah,
And
right.
she was so willing, and she also brought her friend with her, and they killed it.
Yeah, that skate sequence is awesome. It's awesome.
They killed it. And then I said, like you're saying, that's another thing is, like, people watch the video, and if they're not from this state, they don't know who they're looking at. You know, like, they don't understand, like the icons that are in the video.
Yeah.
So it means a lot that you, like, know some of the people, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was so cool to see. And when you're talking about behind the scenes stuff, we've mentioned Justin, we've mentioned Charles, but I feel like a big person to also mention is V. Bohem.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you're talking about people being excited to be on the camera. That wasn't necessarily you
No.
at all, right? But she really helped coach you and nurture you. What was that experience like?
So V and it's Bohem.
Bohem.
Yeah.
Excuse me, yep.
And V is, so we'd worked on Mike, like MMYYKK's
Yeah,
music
yep,
video in the past,
yep.
and she was directing it, and I was just kind of like, bro, you know how to talk to me, you know how to make me feel comfortable on camera, and I knew my music video was coming up, and I was like, I'm gonna be extremely awkward. I love Charles to death, but Charles be like, you got it, just look cute. And I'm like, bro, that's not what I need to hear.
Yeah.
And so to reach out to V and be like, hey, I would really love you to be, like, my director of performance in a way of just coaching me. So we worked for 3 months. She did yoga workshops with me,
Okay.
breathing exercises, and she filmed me over
All
and
the time.
over and over again, like, practicing. And if
Yeah.
you saw, that stuff will never see the light of day. But if you saw it, you would be like, who, like, no. But in comparison to the final footage, like, she really coached me, and she also, like, showed me how to slow down, because when I see cameras or when I'm on stage, I'm like, okay, I gotta be on, I gotta da-da-da-da, which messes me up. She was like, you can breathe.
Yeah.
You can tell them, give me a second, or you can ask the people in the space with you to breathe. She taught me that. She helped me make a credo, which was basically intentions for the music video. And we shared them with the crew every day. We did affirmations before we started, and then she led us through a breathing workshop with the crew and with all of the extras that we had every day. And that made the whole energy of the space change, and it made me more comfortable.
Yeah.
It made the people behind the camera more comfortable to understand that we were all stretching our capacity. None of us had been on a set that was that big before. None of us had ever done a production in that way.
Yeah.
And so she was just kind of like, we're all stretched here.
Yeah.
So we can breathe, we can relax. We're here together, and like, let's make this shit great.
Yeah.
And trusting each other was a big thing too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you think of the Immortal music video being a very big production to Good Seeds being a very big production in itself too, it took a while to finally get to that point. And there's this cool idea, I think you either posted it on Instagram, but this idea of knowing that you have the power to manifest anything you want, but you don't get to choose when it happens. Can you tell me about like that idea of patience and how like important that was throughout this process, 2-year process basically?
Yeah, I think specifically in the generation that we're living in right now, it's like everything is so instant. So we expect, specifically in the music industry, people are just always like, what's next? What's next? Come on, let's go. Like, drop this, drop that.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was just like, I knew that the foundation is knowing that you have something good that is worth the time that it needs to live. And that's worth the time that it needs to become something where people are really gonna love it or want to consume it.
Yeah.
And so that comes with photo shoots, that comes with music videos, that comes with you going around and meeting new people to add to your team who might spread your music for you, right? And I also really enjoy making genuine connections with people.
Yeah.
I don't like just...
Very clear. It's very clear.
Yeah. I don't like just being like, what can you do for me? You know, whatever. So I think for me, I knew like I wanted this to feel like what the good seed, like a seed takes a long time to become, you know, something that will produce fruit. And so I wanted to just take my time. I wanted to learn from the process. And I knew there would be a music video. I knew that there would be, you know, a really good creative around it, and I knew that a lot of people would love it. And so throughout the process, the deadline kept pushing back further and further and further. And you know, because we were like, let's do one in June, like let's do one here, let's do one there, and I was like, oh, it's not gonna be out when I thought it would, you know. But just giving myself the space and knowing that I deserved for my project to be heard by a lot of people that was the most work.
Yeah. And getting to that point of knowing it deserves to be heard, was that ever hard to get to? Was there any self-doubt? Any like why would other people want to come in on my vision? What was that like?
I think that was was the main thing of
artist,
like,
I'm sure.
Period. And especially if, think about it, you made this music in 2020, it's dropping in 2022. You've grown as a writer so much.
Right.
So you listen back to the music and you're just kind of like, I could go harder here. I could do this different. I could do that different. And so then you get to that place of like, wow, why would anyone want to listen to this? This is so old. This isn't whatever. But I think the work was just continuing to like write down my images of like, I am going to make music that is gonna heal myself and whoever enjoys listening to it, I'm gonna make music, you know, that I am. And then also giving gratitude, like, thank you for all the opportunities that are attracting to me through me releasing this music. You know, I'm grateful for blah, blah, blah. So just continuing to like journal and like write my goals, but as I am statements, that really like helped me remember like I deserve this, I'm worth this, I'm worth the help. But even down to like performing at Afropunk, like that work, like 2 weeks prior to that, I didn't feel like I was worthy of that. I didn't feel like I was worth getting help to actually be on that stage. I finally had to like quiet that down. V literally grounded me in that too.
Yeah.
And was just kind of like, you've worked to get here, and like you're worth this. So ask for help.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah. Absolutely. And then so like looking at the project itself, were there any songs that were also kind of hard to get through, or songs you didn't think were gonna come to fruition?
I think, most of them, like, Serial was the first song that I wrote, and the very last song that I had the final mix of. So I wrote Serial probably, like, early 2020 and didn't finish the mix until 2022, like, early.
Wow.
Like, right before we shot the visual. And that wasn't even the final mix on the visual. So that song just took so much work, and there was a different producer who produced it before, and then finding, Mike finally being like, I'm down. And yeah, so that song took a lot of work, and it changed a lot. But the other songs, I would say, like Pink Posture, it took me a minute to realize it was done.
Okay.
Because I wanted to keep going.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, well, this isn't like the structure of it isn't traditional.
Yeah.
Maybe I should add ad-libs. I was at Zach's house, like.
Yeah. That's like your least favorite thing to do, right? Add ad-libs.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's not fun. and at Zach's house, I was just like, yeah. Like trying to like add my ad-libs. And I was like, this is fine. It's done. So yeah.
On the other side of things, was there a song that came easier? Like, do you have a favorite song on this EP?
Favorite song. I would say the song that was easiest was For the Girls.
Okay.
And
because of the
Immortal.
place of where it came, or like why was it the easiest?
I mean, easiest because why was that so easy? I guess I wasn't really thinking necessarily about it being a song that would come out. I was just making it, and it was my first time meeting Your Beautiful Ruin, and we were just kind of like playing around kind of. But I finished that in one day, one sitting. He finished the beat, we finished it all together at one moment. Same with Immortal. So those songs just came out. They like the instrumental as he was playing just inspired me to write. So those two were the easiest. I would say like So was really hard.
Okay.
Just because I didn't arrangement wise wasn't really sure how I wanted it to flow. Same with Your Beautiful Ruin. It took us a long time for that.
And did you know So was going to be the last song on that? Did that add any level of difficulty?
I knew it was going to be the last just because of the hook.
Okay.
Like, I hope that they could feel me when I drop, like just saying that at the end. Like, I hope that you feel the music that I've put out,
Yeah. So to add off of that, once you finally did drop it, what was the response like? And did you get people kind of also starting to believe in that goal and be like, this did help me heal, this helped me just chill and vibe out, just like relax?
For sure.
Because it's helped me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, that means a lot. Yeah, there were a lot of people who said that, like there were a lot of people saying, I cleaned my room today to Good Seeds. Or, I took a nap. Someone said they took a nap to Good Seeds.
And that was like, that's a compliment?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Like, what is it that you need right now? You need a nap?
Yeah.
Like, take a nap to my music. Like, you need to meditate, you need to sleep, or, you need to... Or dance. I don't know if you can really dance to it, but just do what you need to do to it. Like, that was what I wanted the project to be. And I feel like Control did that for me. SZA's Control. I still to this day can hear that project and it will do something different for me, but I will do what I need to do when I turn that project on. So I I really wanted Good Seeds to serve as that. I would say, like, with the response from Immortal being what it was, I think it was hard dropping a project without a visual right before.
Sure. Yep.
And just getting my head out of that space of, like, even caring what the reception is has been really hard. But, yeah, it's just been that. It's been an up and down, honestly.
Yeah. It's kind of, I could totally see that, because you're not making the music for anybody else but yourself, but you obviously, like, it's a help out other people as well.
Right.
And speaking of helping out other people, you know, you're not just an artist. I did want to bring up Tangible Collective too, and just ask, I know there's like an open mic coming up. You're getting into podcasting now too, which is super fun. Tell me about that. How'd that start?
So yeah, Zania is, she and I founded Tangible together. She's the ED, I'm the creative director. And we just always wanted to do a podcast. We recorded when we were in, like, it was like 2018. We recorded a full season of a podcast. And I sent it to my sister. And she was like, aren't you trying to be a teacher? Like, if you drop this, like, you're not getting a job anywhere, whatever, you know? And so I was like, damn, at the time I was in school to be a teacher. So I was like, okay, we can't drop the podcast. Like, we got to not do it. So we didn't drop it. So this year we've just been kind of like doing what we want, but at our own speed and time. And so, yeah, we started our podcast to just kind of like, we have conversations with the folks in our circle all the time, but we've all healed so much from those conversations, or learned a lot about our own artistry through those conversations. So we were like, why don't we just get some mics, record it, and have conversations that we would typically have with people. So we've been doing that, and it's been real fun.
Yeah, it's been good, and I'm sure you learn a lot from that process too, being kind of like not being the one interviewed, but interviewing, and I'm sure that's a cool experience. Also, youth workshops coming up. I know there's something with Bridge Makers you're doing pretty soon.
Yeah, so the youth workshops that Z and I were doing is we started a teaching artist cohort so that artists and community could find other ways of finding money and sustaining themselves off of their art. So basically developing a space where people could build their own curriculum and teach it to youth, and then eventually be able to sell their curriculum to school districts, or be able to do it for after school programming or something like that with youth, or even just in community with adults, as another way of like making money, right? That's been cool. I think it was really hard for us to find youth, because like our target audience has always been like our age group. And we getting up there. We ain't youth no more. So it was just tough, like, finding youth. So that's something we're still working on. But so there's that. And with the performance that I have for youth coming up, like, someone reached out to me, Jerome Tidwell, and was just kind of like, hey, we would love for you to perform. I'm like, well, I be cussing in my music. Sorry, kids. Like, but so that has been, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, very cool. And then an open mic late in July as well too, and that's just regular tangible stuff, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we've been doing open mics since 2017. Yeah. So we have an open mic coming up on the 30th. That's a Saturday, and the same day as well as an It's Fest event as well. That's going to be in collaboration with Reloaded, and they both will be near Broadway Avenue, so you can stop at one, come to another. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And it'll also be a vendor market. So come get some cool shit, see some pretty art.
Yeah. And again, just supporting locally owned business. I know that's super important for you. And there are probably just about a million things I could ask you and want to talk to you about, but I'll try to limit myself. And I just have a couple lasting questions. So I know with Good Seeds, it was kind of like you found a sound, but it wasn't necessarily, that's not your sound, right? And so I'm just curious if there's any other pockets of music you've been thinking about listening to, I know, like gathering research from at all?
Yeah, I would say R&B, alternative R&B, and gospel. So not necessarily like
like gospel what is being said,
Yep.
necessarily want to do that, but more of the stacks, the concept of collectivism and choirs and bringing people on a sonic story, bringing people into like a cinematic world where like the music will take you on a journey. That's where I've always wanted to go with my music, but just being afraid to explore my voice. Like,
have you been trying to test that more in terms of singing?
I'm scared.
Maybe? Yeah.
I tried it once and recorded it myself, sent it to a friend, and he was just kind of like, keep going.
Yeah, it's great.
Keep working on that, So I'm like, I don't like being bad. I'm a Leo. I don't like feeling like I'm bad at anything.
Right.
And so I have next week and the following week, me and Your Beautiful Ruin are going to lock in. And he's like, I'm going to help you with that. So
does he come here or do you go to Chicago?
He comes here.
Okay.
Yep. So he's going to come here. I went to Chicago like once and we did some stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to be in a familiar space personally. Like, I'm very finicky about creating and like where I do it.
Yeah.
So I miss his parents' house. I'm like, we're gonna be in there with his parents. I love their house. In their basement, just vibing out. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. I just wanted to ask if there was anything else on your radar, any creative outlets or projects you haven't ventured into that you might in the future. Anything in that space?
Yeah. Definitely wanting to do more like intimate shows. So I'm hoping to have a show in September that'll be like my first show that I host on my own.
Cool.
And it being like, because I'm also a curator, and so mixing those things of like visual art as well as like performance art, and crafting an experience for the audience. So rather than sitting in seats or standing up, figuring out more creative places for people to rest their bodies,
very cool.
where it's more comfortable and it feels more like a story circle. So that's been something that I've been kind of working on, developing. I would really love to design furniture.
Okay, cool.
I know that sounds random.
No.
But
anything in like particular, or
like
just like
crazy cozy couches where people can just like
Yeah.
just their whole body would just sink into that. Like, I really want to do just like comfortable furniture that is also artistic, and it's like, what is that? No, sit down, come sit on it. Art that people can like actually engage with and touch and feel. So I'm hoping to explore that more.
That's super cool.
And explore more shows that people like, because I feel like in Minnesota, it's really hard for us to find stuff that is for us and that is that engages us in a way, right? It's like all the same kind of stuff when it comes to visual art, and I feel like the artists that we have coming up right now are changing the game.
Yeah, it's really cool to see.
In that way. So I just want to be a part of that and help in any ways that I can to kind of change and shift the culture here, so people don't feel like they have to go to New York or Chicago or LA, where they know like, oh, if I go to Minneapolis, there could be some really cool shows.
Yeah.
So.
It's very cool to see. Cool to see creative projects coming up. Cool to be able to listen to finally. Good Seeds. I'm so glad that it's out. I was waiting, and it's just awesome. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad we were able to do this. Any words of wisdom you want to leave the audience off with today? That's how I've decided to end this one today. Words of wisdom from Ricki Monique.
Yeah, don't put your fork in the microwave. Like, if it's, I'm just playing. I'm serious, but I'm not. Like, just be careful. Like, no foil in the microwave, none of that. No, for real. Words of wisdom that I have. I would say, whatever you think you want to try, that was put on your heart to try for a reason. That's one of your callings, and I would say try it. You are worth trying art forms or anything that's on your heart to try, period. If you want to write a song, write that song. If you want to draw something, draw. Like, just try whatever it is that you want. And you are worth experiencing the most joy possible all day, every day. So just remember that and walk in that light. And speak to people when you see them. And when you don't feel like speaking to people, wear a hat and a mask and just look down. But yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
I'm so like grateful to be here. So thank you for like having me.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love this platform.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for being here. And I just wanted to say that, yeah, trying something, and then I'm going to steal your line, but remembering that you did it because it brings you joy, not stress. And so that's very cool. And yeah, thank you for being here. We're going to hear So coming up, and this concludes Local Vibes.
Dissolve. What's the organs like? Purple pedestals, the distance if I live the life. Not to be the bride, we don't wife. Any ideas? 5 years schooled and put the time in just to rhyme here. 3.8 summa cum laude tears. Get this straight. I never lived just to throw it away and be a maid to the violence. Made in the silence. Made in the I said made and I slayed because they paid me a wage. Not enough so I skate, not trying to catch me a case, not trying to cry it away. I say we fight it away, get a demons a plot and watch them shit it away. Hold up, we been burning sage, I put these thoughts on a page just to let it out. Word of mouth gon' break every chain and what they stressed about. Wrinkled out, we on the way, we making waves, this construction and rage. Yeah, I see the fight done. When I know the choice I made was the right one. Lift me up when the time come. I just hope that they could feel me when I drop. I see the fight done. When I know the choice I made was the right one. Lift me up when the time come. I just hope that they could. I'm sick of code switches, fake bitches, white business, dress codes and straw givers. I've been watching all along, but I am no witness. I've been daydreaming, yearning for that fresh citrus. Something new, make the people say, I don't need a reward. I just want some recourse. No Porsche, no gas, no pump, just laughs, black hums, recenter. Focus on the task, keep community centered. I don't need no glass, deconstructing this ceiling. I've been in my bag, seldom been in my feelings. Chasing a vision, caught me a trip and I'm out. I just be tripping them out. The fight done when I'm planting my seeds in the ground. I see the fight done when I know the choice I made was the right one. Lift me up when the time come. I just hope that they could feel me when I drop. Yeah, I see the fight done when I know the choice I made was the right one. Lift me up when the time come. I just pray that they could feel me